All right, guys, weekend homework. Hopefully you guys did good on the tests. If not, hopefully you're like one or two subjects away from like acing this thing soon. Okay, here we go. Problem number 1. Starbucks list. -2 times x is -2x. -2 times -4 is +8. You could have messed that up. Equals -10. Now that we've got this, we make our teams. That's an x team. That's a number team. That's a number team. So if I make my tables, this is going to be the red side. This is going to be the green side. Because all I have to do is move the 8. -8 minus 8. We've got -2x equals 10 on the negative team, 8 more on the negative team. They're all on the negative team, so the negative team is huge now, -18. All right, divide by -2. Top versus bottom. The -2, make sure you put -2 on the bottom because -2 kills -2. X equals, the two negatives cancel out. 18 divided by 2 is 9. All right, here we go. You guys did pretty well on this one. I think you guys have to make teams first. All right, we make teams first. Top versus bottom is the last thing we do. All right, so this will be my red side. This will be my green side. Just because all I have to do is move this guy over and then they're perfectly separated. Dead. Okay, 9 equals x over 6. The rule is if I see a bottom 6, I need a top 6. So I need a top 6 over here. Put parentheses so it doesn't look like 96. X equals 9 times 6 is 54. All right, over here, same thing. We've got... make your teams, make your teams, make your teams. Getting repetitive. This is going to be the red side. This is going to be the green side. So the 2 needs to go. Dead. 8 equals 4/5 x. Anytime we have a top and bottom, we need a top to kill the bottom, a bottom to kill the top. So we do that over here as well, 5/4. We can put a 1 in the bottom just to make it look nicer. 8 times 5 is 40. 4 times 1 is 4. And 40 divided by 1 is 10. All right, keep going. Let's see. We're going to make this a fraction. This is the 1 spot. This is the 10 spot. This is the 100 spot. What we're going to do is subtract what's not covered. And what's not covered is the 7 on top, and on the bottom, the 10 is not covered. So we do 75 minus 7. 100 minus 10 is 68/90, but they're both even. Sorry, I'm texting somebody. All right, so they're both even, so we cut them in half. 34/45 is the right fraction. All right, rational or irrational. Anytime something stops, that's the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths. If it stops, that's the number on the bottom of the fraction. So we just made it a fraction. That is rational. All right, let's jump ahead to number 6. The blue line. The blue line goes up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. We don't write 1s on the bottom. The slope is 1 for the blue line. A lot of you guys wrote x. I know that makes sense because in the equation, when the slope is 1, you just write x because it's 1x, but you don't write, the x is not part of the slope. The slope is just the number. So it's just 1. So we write this imaginary 1, but we don't actually write y equals 1x. And then we put the begin on blue number. Remember the begin on blue is where it hits this dark blue line, and it hits right there, which is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, minus 5. Y equals x minus 5 with that invisible 1. Is it a function? Yeah, the function test, remember, is just a straight up and down line. Yes, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. If we just make straight up and down lines, we only hit the blue line once. So yes, that's a good function. Okay, we'll take a look at the pink line. The pink line, up and down, that's not a slope. That is undefined. What's the equation? Well, this is the x-axis. So this is x is -1. This is x is -2. This is x is -3. And if you just make that bigger, that is the line. So this is x is -3. X equals -3 is the equation for that one, not y. Is it a function? Nope. Because all of the points are on top of each other. So if you try to draw the vertical line test and we're like, wait, if I draw a straight up and down line, I hit all of the points. That's illegal, not a function. Okay, let's see, that was the pink line for number 7. Number 8, the green line. Okay, let's see. Down 3 over 2. Down 3 over 2. You might have just said 3/2, but if you put your right arm up, this line is going down using your right arm. So it's negative down 3 over 2. So the slope is down 3 over 2. Once you get your slope, you just write down 3 over 2 with the x. And where does it start? It starts up at +3. So +3. Is it a function? Yeah, if I do like the normal function test stuff, yes, it's a function. Okay. Let's see. Number 9. Number 9, if I don't know the square root of 65, but I know a pink number that's really close. So when I'm just going to do these in my head, these should be really easy. I know 64 and I know 36. So the square root of 64 is just 8 and the square root of 36 is just 6. So 8 minus 6, the top of this fraction is just 2. 8 minus 6. The bottom of the fraction, if I'm estimating it, we're just going to estimate, instead of 3.1415926, blah, 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 we're just going to say 3. So is 2/3 bigger than 1? Nope. False. 3/3 is equal to 1. 4/3 would be bigger than 1. 2/3 smaller than 1, not bigger. False. All right, let's see. I guess I skipped 10 and 11. 12. This goes up 5 over 1. Up 5 over 1. The slope is 5. We don't write 1s on bottom. And we say y, as soon as we know the slope, we say y equals 5x. And we've written an equation now. Now we just got to test to see if our equation is true. Our equation says our y number should be 5 times our x number. So let's just check it. Here's our y number. Here's our x number. Let's see if we multiply our x number times 5, we get 15. But we're shooting for 13. Our equation says they're supposed to be equal. They're not equal. We would have to take 2 away from that. So you multiply your x by 5 to get to 15, and then you subtract 2 from that to get to 13. And now that is what works. And it should work with this one too. 5 times 4 is 20, minus the 2 is 18. Yep, that works. 13, be careful. This was +6. This was getting 6 bigger. I try to give you guys that hint in the class. And this is down 2. Up 6, backwards 2. There's a negative that doesn't get canceled out, and 6 divided by 2 is 3, so -3. Y equals -3x. You don't have to do any math here because I was nice and gave you the begin on blue number, -1. -3x minus 1. Y equals -3x minus 1. Number 14. Let's see. I know y is the same thing as 5x plus 2. So I'm going to take out this y, and I'm going to plug in 5x plus 2 equals 11x minus 10. Make your teams. There's an x team. There's an x team. There's a number team. There's a number team. I'm going to go ahead and make this side my pink side. I'm going to make this side my number side. So I can take away the pink from this side, minus 5x, and move it over here. But that means I got to move the black out of this side and move it over there. So this is dead, that's dead, and we've got 12 equals 6x, top versus bottom to 6, x equals 2. All right, now that we know x is 2, I can plug this in right up here for the x. So my y should be the same thing as 5x's plus 2. So my y should be the same thing as 5 2's because x is 2. 5 2's plus 2. Y is equal to 5 2's is 10 plus 2. Y is equal to 12. So our Answer is 2 comma 12. Always in alphabetical order. All right, this one, same thing, just a little, this one's gonna have a Starbucks order. I know my x is equal to 3x plus 2, so I'm gonna take out the y right here, and I'm gonna plug in something that's equal to it, which is 3x minus 2. Everything else, I write the same, 2x plus 3 equals 27. Now we have the Starbucks list that we got to take care of first. Positive 3 times 3x is positive 9x. Positive 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. The 2x just comes down for the ride. He wasn't part of the Starbucks list. Equals 27. Something that I think you guys did a better job on this time was you saw 2x's and 9x's, and you guys said that's 11x's. Before we actually make teams and like send them across, we're just going to combine them. They're on the same side of the equation. Minus 6 equals 27. All right, if I'm making my teams, I'm going to make this side the red side. So, this side the red side, this side the blue side. I'm going to add 6 to get rid of it there. And we've got 11x equals 33. We're going to top versus bottom the 11, and x equals 3. But now that we know x equals 3, I go back all the way up to here, because this is the easy equation, and y should be 3 x's, but we know x's are 3's. So 3 3's minus 2, y equals 9 minus 2, y equals 7. So we've got 3, 7. All right, this guy, 16, you had to make sure that this number was 5. I wrote it wrong on the test. All right, so there's an imaginary 1 right here. So this is an imaginary negative 1. And we want this negative 1 to kill off the positive 2. But to do that, we're going to have to make this whole row twice as big. So instead of having 2x's, we have 4x's. Instead of having negative 1y's, we have negative 2y's. Instead of having 8, we have 16. All right, let's add these together. 3x's and 4x's, 7x's. 2y's and negative 2y's, nothing, they're dead. Equals 5 and 16 is 21. Top versus bottom to 7. X equals 3. Okay, so we've got x equals 3, but we got to plug it in somewhere. Okay, where am I going to plug it in? I'm going to use, maybe I'll use this equation. 3x plus 2y equals 5. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. 3x plus 2y equals 5. Now, I know x is 3, so I'm going to plug in 3 for x. So 3 times 3 plus 2y's equal 9. 9 plus 2y's, equals 5. Sorry, I don't know why I said 9. I'm going to subtract the 9 from this side and move it over with the number team. If you want me to see what it looks like with teams, there's what it looks like with teams. Dead. 2y's equal negative 4 divided by 2, divide by 2. Y equals 4 divided by 2 is 2, and there's no negative, nothing kills off the negative, so negative 2. So the answer is, in alphabetical order, 3, negative 2. All right, now we can get back to the fast problems. Let's see. X to the 5th divided by x squared. Remember, you have your tower. Powers on the top level. Multiplication and division on the next level. Plus and minus on the next level. And on the bottom level, nothing. So 1 less than division is subtraction, x to the 3rd power. 1 less than addition is nothing. There's nothing you can do. It just stays the same. 1 less than multiplication is addition. You add the powers, x to the 7th. This is powers to the 5th power to the 2nd power. So that's x to the 5th power to the 2nd power. That's powers. 1 less than powers is multiplication. That's 5 times 2, x to the 10th power. All right, 21. you have to write with a number between 1 and 10. So what you do is you take the numbers, you get rid of the zeros, and you put a decimal after the first number. So we start with 1.56. But if it was 1.56, we would have to move this over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Every time you multiply by 10, it moves it over. So we need to multiply by 10 5 times, because 10 to the 5th power is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Did I say that right? I think I did. All right, same thing over here. We get rid of the zeros, you write the numbers, and you put the decimal after the first number. The number has to be between 1 and 10, so just put the decimal after the first number. And if the decimal was there, we would have to move it backwards 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So when you move something backwards and make it smaller, that's what negative powers do. They don't make you negative, they just divide by that number a bunch of times. So it's like divided by 10, divided by 10, divided by 10, divided by 10. All right, finally, functions. Absolutely not. 5 has 2 jobs. If I hit button 5, is 2 happening or is 4 happening? Not a function. Number 24, if I did the vertical line test, yep, we're good. Yep. 25, no, if I hit button 0, is Mario going to do 5 or is he going to do 2? I don't know. Not a function. All right, turn in a copy of your perfect test. Thank you for watching the video. Have a good weekend, and let's get you guys as many points as we can by Friday of this week. So make sure you finish this. Okay, bye.